So we are here on another Couch Coach Live. We had a little technical difficulties to start the pod, but we are here. We always here, and
it's 2020. It's 2020, bro. We having some Teddy Riley problems.
Yeah, a lot of those issues have been going on, and I noticed a lot of issues in the last couple of days as far as trying to connect and stuff. But we're here, and it's all good. Another Tuesday, another ride here on Couch Coach Live, man. What's going on, Maui?
Oh, chilling, man. Chilling. And, make it through the week. We make it here. Like this is like my Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But what about you, man?
Everything's good, man. Just another week, just doing what I gotta do. Working, doing the pods, and just working, man. Just trying to get everything going, man.
So I'm gonna be real with you. I know we kind of behind, but this is all sports. So my daughter's 13, and one of my closest homeboys, like my old roommate, his son is 14. So we knew kind of like they were going to eventually like each other, right? So I'm chilling like Thursday. It's like 11:30 at night. I get this random text. I'm like, "Who is this?" And it says, "I'm sorry it's so late, but I just got the strength to ask you, would you mind if I date Cadence?"
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm sitting here like, right. I said, I was like, I'll give you my answer tomorrow because I knew I was going over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just think, man, and everything that we all go through, there's an opportunity to teach. There's an opportunity you get closer to people. So I picked up my daughter, took her over there. You know what I mean? Nobody knew he asked me. I talked to everybody. His parents, nobody knew it. So this was a decision for him. And then I told my daughter, go tell him to come talk to me. And she was like, I said, look at me. She put her face down. Okay, daddy, give me an attitude. I said, look at me. I'm not playing. She said, all right. So he comes out. And it's that this is what's not fair.
Yeah.
He looks like both his parents, and I'm close to both his parents. So his father's like my little brother, and his mother's like extremely like my son. You know what I'm saying? It's uncomfortableness. So I can't be as hard as I want to. Long story short, I get to talking to him, and I was telling him about honesty and things of that nature, that we're all nervous because this is new to all of us because they're getting older, but we just need for them to we have to trust them. So I said, man, are you scared? He said, no. I said, we talked about honesty. Then I said, well, are you nervous? He said, yeah. I said, what you nervous for? And he's greatest answer ever. He said, because this is all new. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, that's a great answer. You know what I mean? So that was my big thing that happened this week, man. So my old homeboy's son and my daughter are dating. Right.
So let's see. I think we got LA here. LA. You here?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what's up.
So we got LA in the building. What's going on, man?
Man, I can't complain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm excited. We might be getting some live sports in the next week or so.
Yes, this will be potentially the final week without sports until February. We're hoping. Let's be optimistic.
Yeah.
But
barring any setbacks.
Right. So it's been a while, LA. A lot has changed. I think the last episode you've been on 2 days before your Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl. So a lot has happened in
almost, they did.
in almost two and a half years. So what's been going on with you, man?
Man, I can't complain. Like that was like the best feeling I think. Seeing the Phillies win in 2008, it was good, but like that 452, like that was the main course. That was the entree. No more being the butt of the joke of the NFC East. I can bring my one ring to the table to the conversation.
Right.
And it's funny.
And y'all beat the Patriots with Gronk.
Yeah.
And it's funny because at first I was excited. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm glad that Philly won. I was like, oh damn, LA got one over me. Like, damn, like, oh, because LA say all kind of stuff. Oh, y'all suck. They said, where's your Super Bowl ring at? And then he just shuts up. And now I can't even shut him up no more.
Yeah, it was.
I was so mad. I like, dang,
I've been beating that drum for 2 years.
Right.
And it was against the Patriots, man, with Gronkowski. They always said that they didn't think anybody could beat the Patriots with Gronkowski. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that was a game for the ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And now, y'all running the NFC East and, for the most part. And, we don't own you guys no more. And, we used to bet on games and I would be the recipient of the win of the bets. And now I would not dare you to bet anymore.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to lose and I don't want to lose. And in the great words,
you want to win, remember that?
Right. Oh, in the great words of LA. Dude, you guys talk about that story when you was in Philly when Romo got hurt, and then everybody was like, "Yeah." So let's talk about that real quick.
So that was, I think that had to been like the 2015 season. That was, the great Chip Kelly offseason with the DeMarco Murray edition. So it was an anticipated game week 2. We lost to the Falcons week 1, so I'm pumped. It's a division game week 2. The game was horrible. It was a horrible call game by Chip Kelly. I think in the fourth quarter, that's when Romo gets hurt, and he broke his collarbone almost directly on our midfield logo, and so people like they're all quiet, and I'm applauding, I'm happy, and it was like, why are you cheering for a man that's injured? I'm like, I want to win.
That was hilarious. I think I might have. I think I titled the podcast one of the podcasts from that. I was like, "Yo, this was hilarious," and it had classic phrases. If you scared, get a dog. Like, but yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like in the back of your mind. You don't wish injury on somebody, but if it happens, you're gonna take the W any kind of way.
Absolutely, it makes sense. But yeah, man, that was hilarious, yo. Yeah, man, yeah, that was hilarious, yo. And when you told that story, man, we was over here crying, laughing, like we couldn't. It took us a while to kind of get back to normal, yo, but. Yeah, a lot has happened, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you about college football. Your thoughts on are we gonna have a season, and then your Alabama Crimson Tide, and a team that you might see in January if possible. We'll talk about that. I'll get your thoughts on Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama with Steve Sarkisian coming back to the forefront, and I'm like back to. Pass happy Alabama. Alabama, it's a run first team, and it's like they keep employing these high flying offensive minds, and it's just the team isn't structured to do that. Do like the Super Bowl, but when they go high flying offense, defense is still because the defense hasn't been as dominant in recent years as like that of 2011, 2012 team. Now, as far as college football, what they planning on doing with this conference only, I think in a sense that is good because some of the bigger conferences, you don't play your full conference. So like Alabama being the SEC West, you only play 6 teams out of the West, and you might get a game against somebody from the East here and there, then the SEC championship. Well, I think if you just strictly conference game only, you really can see who's the master of that conference.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm telling you, man, you gonna laugh, but I'm telling you, who coming in that ACC this year? And everybody talk about Clemson. We gotta talk about the number 17 team in the country. We coming for y'all. You think it's funny, Larry Hall? You think it's funny?
Did you switch over? You switched to basketball that quick?
No, we talked football.
You switched to basketball that quick?
No. Carolina is 17-9, dog. Come on now.
You're talking about the same Carolina that produced Mitchell. Call me Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, I know you're not talking. Oh, y'all produced Trubisky. Who can't even run a hole to save his life? And you talk about Mitch Trubisky. At least he in the league. Trent Richardson, come on now. The worst running back in NFL history. He can't even run through holes in the AFF.
I'm gonna put that to, you know how like some of these quarterbacks in the league, or not quarterbacks for one, but just players in general, they wait to get to the professional level and then go get that eyes corrected. Like one, Jameis Winston, you see he's squinting.
Yeah,
like he threw an interception, a blatant pick six, and he looking to see if it was him who threw it. He goes get LASIK surgery. You can pretty much see your boy Carlos Rogers. Couldn't see nothing while he was in DC. Go to San Francisco, get contact lenses, and get 7-8 picks in a season.
Right.
So I'm going to attribute that to what was wrong with Trent Richardson, because I just can't believe that he was that bad. I just can't see it.
Well, you should have got it fixed. But and I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, Larry, you think it's a joke, and then we killing y'all in recruiting in the class of 2021. Don't sleep. I'm telling you, bro. We back. We were back.
So y'all back to y'all illegal recruiting, huh?
Nah, I wouldn't say all that, brother. I know you ain't.
What was the guy? Defensive tackle.
Okay. Oh, this guy. Okay. Who slipped? What does Zion get? Like $400,000? What is his stepdaddy got all that money, didn't he?
It's his stepdaddy. His stepdaddy did it. He took a page out of Cecil Newton's book.
Okay, right. So he got that money. No. You coming from my boy?
It's a legend.
Right, and mine is a legend. We're done with those African American culture classes. That's done. The investigation, and we're scot free. So let's don't even talk about that tonight.
Y'all are a trip.
Let's not talk about that tonight. Let's It's already passed. We've already.
Okay, let's move on.
Correct. I digress. But those days are over with as far as the academics. We're running a clean program, and I digress. But exactly, and I agree with my boy Rob. UNC has the number 2 recruiting class of 2021 as of now. If it could change, it could change, and they still have the development. But y'all acting like Mac Brown isn't the coach out here. That's right. He's winning the national championship.
But this just seems like, you remember in the 90s, there was a great movie, Blue Chips. It's like Carolina got those friends of the program.
I heard something like that before too. That was crazy.
I know Alabama ain't talking. Alabama do this all the same time. That old damn Nick Saban. He get all them kids. And what do you think he got? It all come out of
No.
Oh, no, what?
No. His recruiting pitch is simple. You come play for me on Saturdays, I make sure you play on Sundays. That's as simple as that.
And that's what we doing in Carolina. Hey, you want to be a part of something different? You want to be a part of something different? Where the ceiling is the roof?
Or you want to go to Death Row? Go to Death Row?
I wouldn't say all that. You want to go to a beautiful campus, a beautiful campus nestled in its own, in its own town. Who wouldn't want that as an 18 to a 22-year-old kid? Who wouldn't want to go to Franklin Street after a victory on a Saturday night and a brisk fall night? Come on now, LA. Stop it. Like,
they wear blue.
Carolina blue. We've said this for 20 years. Like, it's Carolina blue. They have their own color.
It's okay. Okay. Crayola defines it as periwinkle blue. So, we can go
okay.
Carolina blue.
It's Carolina blue. It has its own color. I digress.
Okay.
So, but we have our own color, so don't get it twisted. Go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's. I need some Carolina blue paint. They can give it to you. Let's not discredit us. Come on now. Knock it off.
Okay.
All right, fellas. So the gloves are off let's talk about our NBA awards. So we're gonna go around the horn. Who is the MVP? So obviously with the awards, they're not gonna count the 8 games, the seeding games. So they're gonna count based on when the season started in October to the end of March 11th. So who is your MVP? I'm going with you first, Maui, your MVP.
Giannis. I was gonna be biased. I thought about it, but it's Giannis. You know what I mean? You could easily give it to LeBron. You know what I mean? But it's Giannis because he might as well get it because they're not gonna win a championship, so he's got to win something. You know what I mean? But I just looked at it all around and it's Giannis. You know what I mean? I think if you don't necessarily figure out a way to lock him down in some type of way, make him a shooter or something like that, or try to muscle him as much as you can, then it could be dangerous. You know what I mean? And he's something special. But I pick Giannis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't be like LA because I know what LA gonna have. I already know for a fact.
No.
I was going to pick LeBron, but I'm gonna be real with you. I tried to think outside the box, and I was like, okay, when you think about all these different stars, like when they start going to a certain level, they get MVP. The only one I could think of is Steph Curry, where he was still winning championships and he won the MVP. But a lot of stars that win MVP, they usually don't win the championship that year. It's like a level. It's like, okay, they have to figure out, I'm going to have to give up some of my points, and some of these players are going to have to step up. And it almost looked like you taking a step back. You know what I mean? And I think that's where Giannis is. If you remember the Bucks, like I said, I think they were before they suspended the season. They basically only played the second and the third unit. And Frank Mason got majority of the minutes that game, and I think they lost to the Nuggets. As young as I think it was the Nuggets, yeah. And but they had lost a few games, and it was like their coach was like, "Look, man, y'all gonna have to step up. We're gonna have to make some changes." You know what I mean? So, and then I think Giannis was hurt also, but still, I just think that's where he's at. He's like one of those guys that's just he's special. They're gonna have to get remember Kevin Garnett was like that when he played for the Timberwolves. It's like, okay, their star player, they have Harden, Westbrook, same thing. And it's just like they're gonna have to figure out what do I have to do to elevate. Kobe Bryant was the same way. You know what I mean? And then Phil Jackson came and put everything. It's like, you know what I mean? It's so that's why I picked Giannis. I don't think he's there just yet. I don't think he's going to be there with the Bucks. I think he's going to go somewhere else.
All right. Who is your MVP?
See, I was thinking Giannis just because the Bucks had the #1 record going into this break. But it's just something about the way the voters are going to sway with LeBron. I think it's going to tilt to LeBron just off the simple fact of the death of Kobe. So that way that it gives like Laker land one more knock into prominence. And it's just because of the deciding fact. Like I say, Giannis with his stat-wise, it goes to Giannis, hands down. You got the best player on the best team. Just in past history, that's how it's been. The #1 seeded team won the MVP. But I just something about with the death of Kobe is going to shift towards LeBron.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, I think it's a slam dunk in a sense where I do see he's Giannis, but I'm not gonna lie and be in front. But honorable mention's got to be LeBron. I think for him to play at this level, at this age, and that's one thing too. I think a lot of people play into factor where, when we were coming up, when you were 35, you were like a damn dinosaur in the league. I mean, you look at, back in those days. I mean, because you think about it, Jordan, when he was 35, that was 98. I mean, most guys, when we were coming up, they were done. Like, not to a point, to a point where, and you guys really think about for him, he played he came straight out of high school, and we had guys who went to school for 4 years, 3 to 4 years, and was done by that age. And for him to play at this high level at this age, it still amazes me. And it's just like, it's something that I think, like you said, a lot of people should take into factor. But like you said, normally how the process goes, if a guy's averaging almost 30 points a game on the best team in the league, it's almost like it's obvious. So,
clear cut, it's And it's like, to more of LeBron's credit, it's 17 years, and we're not talking like shortened seasons. Like, you had the one lockout year, you could consider this a shortened season in a sense, but you're talking about deep playoff runs, Olympic seasons, 17 years in the league, like alone can't be ignored.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think the people that vote for it, like for us, you know, as I was getting all this information, you start seeing like a lot of people who vote for it. I just wish that the people that voted for MVP, because I think most valuable player is more than just stats. You know what I mean? Is they try to make it more stats and analytics, but I bet you sometimes if the players and the people inside of basketball, not journalists, and I'm talking about like general managers, let's say refs, all these different people, if they was able to vote for it, it probably wouldn't be LeBron. It might not be the certain people that we're talking about. It might be like like just somebody that's coming off the bench that, you know, as soon as they get in the game, everything just changes that we might not even see, because there might be this certain picks that he make or just the whole like general flow of the game, like the Clippers. You know, Monte Harrell, I see a complete, when he get in the game, I see the Clippers transform
like
to a complete different team.
I was going to say him or Lou Williams, one of the two.
Yep, one of the two.
Right, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
And but you have to listen to true basketball scholars and people that's in the game that's going to tell you about those, man. When he hit the floor, watch them, because they completely change. You know, you don't, you know, but we always going to pick those certain people that score the most points. You know what I mean? Or whoever they shove down our throats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, and another thing,
because like those analysts.
Yeah.
I would say, like, you know, you got some of those analysts. They have their vote decided long ago. So like, you listen to Chris Broussard, you know who he has a vote. You know who he's voting for. He pretty much tells you anytime he gets up on the TV.
Right. And what's crazy about it all is, going back to your point with the Kobe angle, because if you do give it like LeBron, it'll kind of remind you of, remember when Kobe won in 2008, where we looked at that as more like a lifetime achievement.
Yeah.
More so than actual
because
the league MVP. Yeah.
He got robbed out of Steve Nash years.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, which is crazy. Steve Nash back-to-back MVPs. Wow, we lived in the world like that.
We did.
It's actually, man.
Like,
even
you
when
wanted to give Steve Nash,
right? But even like the Warriors, like Curry was Curry. Curry's dangerous. But when you really looked at it, those two teams, like they was really nothing without. Like Draymond was the one that kind of like viewed that team, and then Klay Thompson was dangerous, but Curry got that it factor. You know what I mean? He just got that it factor.
Because if you look at it, without all the splash and the razzle dazzle, Klay Thompson, you can say he's the MVP of that team, because he can go get you 25 in the blink of an eye, and then he locks down the best perimeter player. Steph's not doing that.
Liability.
Right.
On D.
Right. Yeah, liability. Right. And then I think he didn't even make last year. He didn't make all team or something like the all NBA or something like that.
Oh, Klay
Thompson.
Yeah, right.
And we were, and me, and you know, people that like that's not really into it. That kind of messed his money up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
But it helped Kimber though.
You look at things like that, because like there was a string. There was a string when the defensive player of the year wasn't first All NBA defense. Like, how does that happen?
Right.
I think it was Tyson Chandler and Mark Gasol won, and it was second team all defense. How?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So, rookie of the year. I'm gonna go with you first, LA.
Well, you know, I gotta give it to the old Gumbo down there.
Oh, but hell no.
It's gonna be Ja. It's gonna be Ja. It's gonna be Ja.
All right.
It's like, but you can see they're gonna make their vote. They're gonna make that vote closer than what it should be, just off of the hype and popularity of Zion.
Yeah. Right. All right. Who's your MVP rookie of the year, Malwin?
I gave it to Ja. I think Ja deserved it. I think that Ja has that thing where we know he can dunk, but I think we saw a lot more in his game. I think he's not scared of anybody. I think that he got his respect extremely fast, and they in the playoffs, right? Are they in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I think
right. And I feel like
right now.
and I feel like they deserve it too. I feel like they deserve it. They balling. You know what I mean? I also feel like, and no disrespect, I think Zion, he's incredible. I think he's a beast. But I think also it's a lot of issues around his name right now. And I feel like, it ain't just about playing basketball. I think he's bigger than just basketball. I think he's some iconic things there. And I think they need to give it to Ja. And I think they need to calm down. You know what I'm saying? Some things that circulating around Zion right now. It seemed like it's a lot of, I don't know. It just seemed like some things around that need to be quiet. You know what I mean? Am I wrong for that? For thinking that? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like,
not really. No, I mean, it's
right.
Because you think right.
I feel like it's some things that I think Ja deserve it, and I think that it's a sacrifice that he may not get it. Because they can easily give it to him. When you start looking at the numbers of the games that he played, and it's scary. But there's some extra stuff that's going on. Of course, his weight. You know what I mean? I think they were saying if he lose some weight, that he could be almost like he could be like a guard. They was talking about that, but that's just them talking. But it's just some other stuff that's kind of like there's some other things that's just like, okay, let's just let him get in shape, a few little things, and let's just keep the Zion down. Let's get it straight maybe for next season so he can play the whole season or something like that. And go ahead and give it a job. Because I think they're going to stay in the playoffs. I think they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the thing with Zion was tricky, which for him to be only 20 to have all these problems already is bad.
Right.
But it's still in a sense kind of good because he can still turn it around because he's only 20. So it's kind of a catch-22 where he has a lot of issues now, but they can all be, gone in months or whatever. But I
don't think it's him. I think it's the people. So I think it's the things that surrounding him. And I think when you a young player, I think all of them deal with it. But then as time go on, you start settling in the NBA. You're gonna start getting that under control. You know what I mean?
But and I think he's gonna be all right. I think I just look at this as age. I mean, he's 20. Yeah. And it's a part of me is like I want, he's not at a point where he's even reaching his prime. I think he's gonna be okay. And I think it's all gonna be. It is kind of a red flag to have these things this early, but he'll be fine.
Right.
But I think the rookie of the year, like I said, it's going to be unanimous. Ja Morant. I mean, he joins the elite company. He's the only rookie to average 20 points per game, 8 rebounds since Trey Young and Big O. So he joins the elite company. And what he's done for Memphis.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he joins that elite company. Huh? What's that? Huh?
No, I was saying you finished that point.
Yeah. So like I said, he joined elite company, and then you look at what Memphis is doing. I mean, did we really think that Memphis was going to be in this predicament at this point? I mean, to be the AC and then kind of Ja Morant just taking over for the Memphis Grizzlies, and then and I think
he's fueling them.
And I think if Zion would have played, if Zion, even if Zion would have played maybe like in November or December, he could have been a rookie of the year because what he's put up some very impressive numbers even in the short time he has played because he started in January, and I think he averages almost 30 when they do like the per where it's like per as if he's
play efficiency rating now.
Yeah, play efficiency rating. So. And that's another little, interesting little nerd stat of the night. And so that's another thing where if he would have played early on, I think he could have been the rookie of the year. But I mean, it's gonna be interesting though. So, fellas,
and the one thing that could happen to make up for that debacle that happened in that 03-04 season is if they split that rookie of the year. Because you know me, I'm a stand on that hill that Melo and LeBron should have split Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think the whole thing he should win too is that when with the Pelicans, the offense is not really going through Zion. It's they got a few weapons. When I think of the Grizzlies, you know what I'm saying? Everything is going through Ja.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he carrying that team and he's fueling that team. With Zion, it's almost like they trying to make him because he was hurt, and they're trying to make him feel comfortable in playing. And it's like it's a difference. I don't think people understand that. To me, there's a difference there. You know what I mean? Like there, he already I could do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody's like, "Oh wow, man, Zion could do this. Yeah, he could do that." But then he get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Or
and I think that's a lot of it too. And a lot of it because it's your boy's been balling in LA. Your boy Brandon Ingram from Kingston, North Carolina. And I think that's another thing where I think that's another thing too, where you had a guy like that emerge, and it's kind of hard to kind of put him in the fold. And now you got a Brandon Ingram who's been playing at an all-star level all year, who's just been out of this world balling, and but yeah. So, Coach of the Year, I'm gonna go with you first, Maui. Who's your Coach of the Year?
Man, I'm gonna give all three, and then I put Nick Nurse, Frank Vogel, and Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra to me, I told you I liked the Miami Heat. I thought they was excited. You know what I mean? I think they end up being better than what they thought they were going to be, and I think if you sleep on them, all of a sudden here come these threes and shots getting blocked. You know what I mean? So I felt like he's doing a great job to really not have no big star. And he got an all-star, but he ain't got a superstar. You know what I mean? He also got I want to say a journeyman, but I ain't going to, maybe that's just me. Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel is doing a great job with that team. And I think it's because of the teaching. Everybody says Jason Kidd, but look at Rondo this season and how you can see a sign of a maturity. You ain't really heard no negativity from Rondo. And Rondo said it's because the way Frank would teach you, he doesn't make fun of you and he speaks to you. So it's almost like he's learning. He said that he's learning a different way because Rondo eventually, I think, will be in some type of coaching position. You know what understand what I'm saying? Because he has a very good basketball IQ. So I want to give it to Frank. And I think Frank is doing a good job. I think he's he's helping Dwight Howard as I was watching some of their practices, telling them how to move their feet. Because that's one thing Dwight don't do well on defense is step up when he needs to and then step back. Like it was just those things I thought was good. And then I'm gonna give it to Coach of the Year should go to Nick Nurse. I think that dude is coaching. We saw it last year where they was making fun of him because they was doing a box one, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Then they were making fun of him. They said it was very disrespectful. And I'm like, man, something's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It works.
Something's going on. And I like that. I like this because one thing I'm tired about sports is I'm tired of them using the same coaches. If it didn't work over there, why are you going to hire him to another spot? Like, go give some new guys a chance. Some younger guys that might be able to deal with these basketball guys. You know what I mean? They might have met them in AAU or training, or you know what I'm saying, or bonded with them doing the American when they was playing for the for the U.S. team. Stop using. I'm so damn tired of the Houston's coach. Why is he still like? You know what I mean? Give it a break. It ain't gonna happen, bro. Throw in the towel. You know what I'm saying? They keep, even in the NFL, they keep using the same head coaches. And I'm like, those same head coaches honestly should be GMs by now. And they need to move out the way so there can be some new head coaches. But I'm giving it to Nick Nurse. They won the championship last year. They don't have Danny Green. They don't have Kawhi. And they don't have Leonard. And they still number 2. And I think that I really believe they're going to make it to the chip. I think they have I think they playing rope-a-dope a little bit. I think they dangerous. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why they dangerous too. Because we kept saying that I don't have the NBA, package where I could watch every game. The only time I seen them play, the Clippers play, honestly, was against the Lakers. and that shit looked scary. You know what I'm saying? That game looked really, really scary because their length was crazy, and it was players I had never seen before. I'm like, who is this dude? Who is this guy? You know what I mean? So anyway, I give it to Nick Nurse.
And LA, please don't say Brett Brown.
I would never.
I know.
I would never.
All right, who your coach of the year, man?
That man's gonna send me in the cardiac arrest.
Facts.
And to hop on that Nick Nurse, he shouldn't be a champion because of the fact that Kawhi traveled. He traveled in that that's Game 7 last year, but we know that's here nor there.
Are you talking about against Philly?
I do think
you talking about against Philly?
This year, superstar. Yeah. Kawhi traveled. He traveled on the inbound.
I got you. I give you
that. just rewatch it. You rewatch it and you'll see it.
I ain't arguing with you.
I would go with. I'm gonna go with Nick Nurse. Like I said, with no superstar to be in that position, number 2 in the East. And then who I think really, Brad Stevens. He's got to get some love in that category. To lose Kyrie, you pick up Kemba. Kemba and Kyrie is still not the same, and then he lost Al Horford, and they still in a position where they could be the number 1 team in the East. But it's between those two.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna go with Frank Vogel. I think what he's done, and it's funny because a lot of the question marks was, well, can he handle 2 superstars? Like, we know the Indiana days where he, we was with Paul George, and it was very successful. A lot of people was like, well, how can he do with Anthony Davis and LeBron James? And he's done it very effectively, and he's done. I mean, you can see the difference between the Lakers that was coached by Luke Walton versus him. It's like night and day, even though the personnel has changed. But I mean, when you look at just how the rotations are, and it's like all of it makes more sense. Even though that Lakers team with Luke Walton was kind of empty anyway, but there still could have been adjustments made even in that circumstance. Yeah.
I will say the one thing about that Lakers Walton team, he had LeVar Ball in the background. And they gave LeVar way too much power to be sideline. And he destroyed that team.
Man, hey.
I couldn't hear you. What did he say? He was going in and out. What did he say?
I was talking about that Luke Walton team. He had LeVar Ball holding him back.
What explain? What do you mean? You said LeVar or you mean Lonzo?
No, LeVar, because LeVar had too much input. It was just like they say he wasn't a voice, but every time you turn around, he was in somebody's sports talk show, and people read the press clippings. They know what he's saying and what gets back to him.
Right. I blame Magic. I blame Magic for that, though. I blame Magic for that.
Boy, do this.
Right. I blame Magic for that because Magic drafted him, and they didn't have to. Regardless, that dude was going to be their Cali boy, so he was a Cali boy, so he was going to be in California anyway. They wanted all that publicity and all that, so they had to deal with it. And you're right. I think that's why he was getting hurt so much too, because he really he could jump. His shot got better. He quick as hell. You know what I'm saying? Once they put him in a right position where he can use his speed a little more, he's gonna be dangerous on defense. You know what I mean? Yeah. But see, I'm gonna tell you, he's from Cali. So he probably needed to leave home and go someplace else so he can, you know what I'm saying? He can focus on that. That people don't understand how important that is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
because he couldn't share that time with Patrick Beverly.
No, all right, knock it off now.
but I think that a lot of that team at the time needed a transformation, man. It was a lot of stuff behind the scenes that was going on that had to come to the forefront. So trust me, when a lot of stuff that's going on right now with the Lakers because they really truly rebuilding. You know what I mean? Because they got embarrassed. You know what I mean? Remember, it was almost like watching a reality show.
Right. And they ended up getting the right coach for him. So the 6th man of the year, I'm going with you first, LA.
I think you got to give it to old Montrez.
Yeah.
Just what he brings to that team. If you take him out of that lineup completely, that's a whole
different
Clippers team.
It's different. Yeah, he's dangerous. He's scary.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. You're 6-man Maui?
Same as him. Same as LA. Like I said, the growth with him and Doc. Whereas, you know, he used to he just got in what he fit in. He'd get in there, he would be Lou Williams, they doing the pick and roll. Now it's been changed where now Doc is setting up plays through him. And his free throws, like people don't understand, if you're gonna be a big man to go in there and bang, you got to make your free throws. That is so important. Get rebounds, block shots, make your little 12-footer. But you gotta make your free throws because you're going to get fouled. And I think he wasn't that good a couple years ago with his free throws. And he'd be knocking them down. You know what I mean? He's dangerous. He's dangerous.
Yeah, man. I think it's got to be Montrez because I think more so Lou Williams. It's the Lou Williams fatigue. I don't think they're gonna give him the 6-man once again. I think even though he deserves it, but it's just I think the fatigue of it. And I do, you know, and Montrez has been balling. Montrez has been one of those guys who have had a slowly incline. He's definitely done away from, you know, he's definitely far removed from that Katina Powell incident. And so, you know, no relation. We all remember that situation. And, you know, so I do like what he brings to the table. And, I mean, Trez is he's just balling, man. He's just, you know, that's one of the things I'm like, he's I call it like, you know, how the young kids say he's in his bag. That's essentially what he's doing. And he gonna get his money.
Right. And that's what I was gonna say. He deserves it. Little dude, you know, he deserves it. That I'm gonna be honest. To me personally, I think after the season they don't win. I think he should go somewhere because he most likely can start and he gonna get paid. You know what I mean? Like he deserves it. It's one player I say that deserve it because he just does what he's done. He's gonna he deserves it, man. He's scary to me. Like I'm gonna tell you, I think LeBron might have messed up the 6th man for Lou Williams last time the Clippers played the Lakers because LeBron was picking on Lou Williams. You know what I'm saying? It was like you had to make a decision. You're gonna play. You know what's the other dude? Yeah. What's the other dude that started for them? What's his name? Chris.
Shemet. Learn Shemet.
No, the one always talking trash. I don't know. I got a brain fart.
Pat Beverly.
Beverly got him fouled. You know, he had to make a decision. You gonna put Beverly in to play defense, or are you gonna keep Lou Williams in for scoring? And Lou Williams just got embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Williams just got embarrassed, and I think that showed a liability with Lou Williams. Like he could score, but he gonna have to play defense.
Yeah. So final award, Defensive Player of the Year. Mal, who's your Defensive Player of the Year?
I gave it to Giannis.
Okay. LA.
Well.
Oh, you want me to tell you why? Let me tell you why. No, I just think he's dangerous. I just think he's dangerous. It's Giannis, man. He's just, block shots, the whole nine. I ain't got no stats. It's just that's what I looked at. He's dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't like when he just dangerous. Go ahead, LA. I just put Giannis. Okay.
So for my Defensive Player of the Year, I'm gonna have to give it to the process.
Oh no!
Embiid.
Oh,
I know I sound like a homer, but the way he protects that paint is unbelievable.
Who did he give it to?
Joel Embiid.
Embiid.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, hey,
I can't do that.
We just call it homer bias, but this all good. Hey, it's your thoughts, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
LA gonna be mad at me later on.
He'll be mad at all of us. Anyway, I think it's Giannis, and it's funny because what's weird, a stat that I discovered, like how he clogs the middle, and essentially when you try to come to the cup, they said the opponents are literally at a 41.3% clip. I'm like, God, that's what you would consider like an easy kind of like you go to the lane, you at least think to yourself, at least about 70%, success rate. But him clogging up the lane is 41.3%.
He's
I like
quick,
that's amazing. I know that's what I'm saying.
You beat him. You think you got him beat, and just think about Shaq was quick like that too, but he was clumsy. You know what I mean?
Right. He won't. Right. That's amazing.
It's like for instance, McGee. He got quick feet, but he clumsy. But he's so long that he can catch you when you think he can catch you. And Giannis done mastered it where his body don't even hit you. You know what I mean?
Right.
A long dude, man. It's a long dude.
Yeah. All right, so fellas, let's talk about the Eastern Conference bubble. Let me get that situated. Let me update the. All right, so who is likely to be the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference? I'm gonna go with you first, LA.
Who's got that spot? Orlando still has that spot, right?
Orlando has a spot, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see them giving that up. I mean,
it's sad.
It's like once you get outside, like the East is terrible.
Yeah, it is.
There's only one other team that can get that spot.
Well, yeah. Maui, who's
Washington?
Yes, Washington. Mm-hmm. So yes, Washington is the ninth seed. Yeah, so
and they 6 games out. Like it's
right. So they Maui.
Yeah, that's done.
Well, not necessarily. I'll talk about it momentarily. But Maui,
it's hard. Okay, it's hard, man. Like it's hard because Beal, Dinwiddie, Victor Oladipo. My bad. Excuse me. It's a few people that's out, so it's just hard for me to figure out who gonna get it. Like I wanted Beal with the Wizards. I felt like okay, they dogged him with the All-Star. I'm like, this is his opportunity, but he's sitting out. So I don't even think this is weird because Orlando might figure out a way to, I don't know. It's just a toss up. I'm just going to say, because I think the Nets may lose that because they don't have a lot of their team either.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that's sitting out. Jordan sitting out. Like I said, Dinwiddie sitting out. And I think there's another player that's out. So
yeah,
I don't know, bro. Like I think I'm just gonna say it's just like it's gonna be. First I was saying it was gonna be most likely the Nets are gonna be out and the Wizards can get in, which it still could be that way. But I don't have nothing to back that. That's what I'm saying. I don't have any strong argument. But I do think, I don't know. I think LeVert might be able to figure out a way to keep them at the 8th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the pace, you never know. Like, I don't know the Pacers making because Victor's not playing, but they've been winning without him. Yeah. But they may lose some steam. I don't know. The Sixers is tied with the Pacers, but you never know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real with you. Like they have the worst. They have the worst road record ever. What is it? 10 and 24. And the Knicks road record is better than them. So you never know. It's just being honest. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then we got to still think it's a pandemic issue. So you never know somebody gets sick. It's a toss up, man. It's going to be real. Yeah. This is like watching the big 3 on steroids.
Yeah. And I think the team that's really going to slide in is going to probably the Nets. Because I think Orlando's going to slide up. It just makes more sense. They'll slide up to 7. The thing with the Wizards, with them being 5.5 out and have without Bertans or Beal.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, if Bertans and Beal was there, I say they'd get the 8th spot, and then Brooklyn.
Right.
Because Brooklyn, man, they just signed damn Beasley and Tyler Johnson. Right. Like, you guys just came off the street, like literally.
Wow.
Didn't they get Jamal? Did they get
Jamal Crawford.
Yeah. Right.
And it's just like they're gonna literally back in because just the simple fact of the Wizard situation. If they would have been full, at least if they would have even they would have had Bertans, I'd be like, hell, they'll make the 8th spot. But I'm just like Brooklyn is just a mess. You don't have KD, Kyrie.
They got a new coach. They got rid of their coach.
Jock Vaughn's their coach.
Yeah.
So I said KD, Kyrie, Spencer Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan. Like a lot of guys are out. Like, I mean, and this might be a chance for your boy Joe Harris to shine from UVA. You like those kids from Charlottesville, don't you? LA.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But it's a toss up, bro. Like it really is a toss up. Like, if you in the top four, man, just keep what you got. Like don't slip and slide, and you know what I mean? Because everybody's kind of from the top, at least top three. The Heat just need to keep balling. But for me, 5, 6, because Pacers and the 76ers are tied.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
you know what I mean?
Sixers and the Pacers are tied. Yeah.
Yeah. So, sleeper. Who is your sleeper in the East? Maui, your turn. You go first.
I'm gonna say the Heat and the Celtics. Like I said, like the Celtics. I had to sit there and really think about the Celtics and think about the last 4 years, everything that they've been through. They still really got their core. They got their core. Like they move a few little pieces, but they still really got, you know what I'm saying, smart. Damn, I'm tripping. Don't worry about it. They still got their core, at least core 3 or 4 players that's still there that they still could work around. And they just probably get like a guard and a couple of big men, and they a little rough. And I think they got that chemistry. They worked together for a while, and everybody played their role. You know what I mean? So they scary, and I hope if they do move forward and maybe get to the Eastern Conference, I hope that don't make it a waste. Don't just get there and be happy that you're there because you did better than expectations. You know what I'm saying? That you thought you were going to do. But like I said, I like the Heat all year. I like the Heat. I don't think they thought that they were going to be as good as they were. You know what I mean? But I like the Heat. I think they dangerous. Like I said, out the blue, 3-pointers to start being knocked down. They play defense. They block shots. You know what I mean? It ain't anytime it seemed like they journeymen want to start being isolation basketball player, that's when they lose. If they play together, they dangerous. I ain't saying they're going to win the championship, but I said they dangerous. You know what I mean? But so I say it's a tie between the Celtics and the Heat.
Yeah. LA. LA, who's your sleeper, LA?
Yeah, so I think I'm a payback. It's gonna be a team out that middle of the pack. I want to say the Sixers because they on paper that team is dangerous, but they shouldn't be at this point in the season now tinkering with the lineup. Like you shouldn't have waited and wasted $26 million on Al Horford just to put him on the bench. That was that was the stupidest thing that Elton Brand could have done. And like with Miami, that losing Hassan Whiteside was probably the best thing that happened to them because you got that's addition by subtraction. So you got Jimmy Butler. Butler was not going to put up with them antics in that locker room. He just was not going to have him doing his thing. But I think like that punch with Tyler Herro and Jimmy Butler and old Bam Bam, that 3 mixture right there, can cause some problems for somebody in that playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
And I agree with you guys too. I think Miami, and I think, and it's kind of to piggyback on Kenny Smith's point. We talked about like Jimmy Butler and what have you, but like you're saying, the guys like Bam, Tyler Herro, and Kendrick Nunn, those guys, this is essentially their second. Well, not except for Bam, but we're thinking about Tyler Herro and Kendrick. This is essentially their second season. So essentially, the rookie year is washed. So are they going to come in with a momentum almost like, because they're going to be, in essence, kind of seasoned in a sense. I look at that and I think my thing is if they can get a top 3 seed and essentially avoid Milwaukee in the first round, this team could potentially play them in the conference championship. I could see that.
Yeah.
If I
They're dangerous.
if I can see them going to, if they can at least be a third seed, I can see them if they can avoid Milwaukee up into the conference championship. They could potentially go to the conference championship. And I just like this team. There's another team that kind of was hot at the end, and then we got to remember Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, Andre's there. Yeah,
and that's another thing where now he's got essentially 4 months of rest. So who's to say?
But he really didn't play all year.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. He had 4 rest. Right.
And you know what's crazy? I wish he would have played for the Grizzlies. I think they'd have been better.
Yeah.
So so you said Elton Brand is dumb. So dumb people. What school did Elton Brand go to? LA? Let's talk about that.
Oh my God.
Well, he picked up all those bad habits in Chicago. That's all that is.
Oh, knock it off. He was only there for a couple.
LA. I think Hartford deserved his money. I think it's our coach. I think he's just not using Hartford right, and then even though he got paid, if you're not using this player right, it's going the confidence go down. So like, man, trust me. I remember him knocking down all them threes and battling, and I think bottom line is, who a better coach, your coach or Brad Stevens? Which one's better? Come on, let's be real. Right, and I think that's the real issue.
For me on that one.
I think that's the real issue, and he should have been gone. I felt like the 76ers was actually better. What 2 years ago when they had Redick and all those? You could get rid of Redick, but they had some. Yeah. I was like, man, look how they spread the ball down. They had tall 3-point shooters. I'm like, oh, they're gonna be dangerous, and they gone.
Right. They all the problem was Brett Brown, and it's because because he comes from that Popovich tree, and so everybody think, he's this genius, and I'm like, no, y'all got to stop doing that, because it was one of those games against the Celtics. We were up 24 points, and we lost the game because he didn't have the wherewithal. You have a young team, and I know you have some veterans on that team, where somebody's like, you need to call a timeout and stop shooting threes, because they were so trigger happy, and it's like the only person with any sense on the court to not shoot a three is Ben Simmons, because he won't take a 3-pointer.
To save his life.
Right.
Yeah. So, fellas, let's talk about who's going to be the biggest disappointment in the Eastern Conference. Mel, you first.
All right, bet. I'll take it for what it is. I think it's the 76ers. Yeah. I think it's because I think they are better than what they are. I think it's Embiid's fault, because I think Embiid gets lazy. I think he's too, I shouldn't say this, but I feel like I shouldn't say this, but he got a small piece of what I call the Antonio Brown virus, where he just well, I'm not even going to say that. Don't disrespect Antonio. That's my bad. I just feel like he plays around too much, and he needs to get this fire under him to really, really, really play, because he has it. You know what I mean? Like, has he really stepped up to the point that you could say when he cried when they lost last year, was he really hurt? Did that really fuel him to be better this year than what he was? I don't think so. I think he's still joking around and playing, and he ain't taking this as serious. And I think Ben Simmons is the one that's taking all the criticism because of that. You know what I mean? When I think, to me, Ben Simmons, he played hard. You know what I mean? But I just think they underachieving. I think they still could be better than majority of people. They should be number 3. If not they should be in the top 3. There's no way they should be number 6. There's no way they should be number 6. Regardless, they still got Embiid, they still got Simmons, and they got Hartford. They still got players there. They should be better than that. And is there any way that they can mess up and miss the playoffs?
No, I don't think
mathematic wise.
They would have to literally
they can't miss it, but they can't miss it. But
yeah, because
not even then they.
Yeah, because
at 26.
Yeah,
they remind me of the Thunder. Remember the Thunder? They remind me of the Westbrook, Westbrook and Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? That's who they remind me of. Like the potential was there. Like they should have won that 1 year, where they should at least beat the Warriors, and they didn't. You know what I mean? Because Kevin Durant just went his own way and thought he was going to do what he was going to do, and that's who they remind me of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would still go in because even they lost all 8, there'd be 34 losses, and Orlando got 35, so they'll still be in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can backpedal.
Okay.
LA.
And I can see them trying to do that. I can see them doing that, like trying to fall into that 7th seed where they would play Toronto. I can see them. I see it because it's like, the lesser 2 evils. They don't have to deal with Kawhi, so but man, they make my head hurt sometimes, and it's because a lot of times, like with Charles Barkley and a lot of them, they criticize Embiid because between him and Ben Simmons, somebody needs to take control of the team and say, "This is my team."
Right.
Moving forward.
Right.
It's like, they want the glory and like you said, they have too much on paper and see. It's just it's frustrating. And like the only thing the one thing that really scares me is because it's not like they're playing on a road crowd where that the crowd plays into the emotions and the effects of a game where you have no fans. And how serious, especially Embiid, how serious is he going to take this?
Right.
Because this is just like the
Man.
Yeah.
This is the AAU.
Embiid was trying to get on Small World. Small World. He tried to get on some rides.
Nice. But I look at the Sixers too. I think with them, it's gonna be just a disappointment of the fact that they were a few bounces away and a travel call away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I think like you said, I even kind of go pick LA. I think if they do backpedal to get 7 and play Toronto, that's favorable for them. And even if they get to the 4th spot and have to play Indiana, that's favorable for them as well. But I think everybody else, it's one and done. Like they're going to be done in what in a month. Like essentially, they'll be out the bubble in a month.
I got a question for LA.
No more snitching.
Can I ask him a question, or you still have some more stuff to talk about?
I'm done. Yeah.
Go ahead.
LA. Okay. Let's say if they one and done, right? So next season, who would you want to build the team around? Would you want to build it around Simmons, or would you want to build it around Embiid? Not saying they're gonna split, but if I had to bring somebody in and say, "Hey,"
I build a team because with Embiid you can only play him. Where Simmons still can maneuver around the court the way he needs to. It's just the thing with Embiid is are you getting enough on that shot? This is what he got in the league, especially this game. He seems to come in heavier and heavier each year, and he's already got bad knees, bad feet, bad back. And that's a recipe for disaster, and he'll be out the league very quickly.
Very much so. But yeah. So fellas, let's round out the Eastern Conference preview. Who will win the East? LA.
You gotta give it to Milwaukee just because I think they should have improved what they did last year. I don't see that happening where Giannis takes that big step back in that when the lights got the brightest on him. And like I said, we're probably going to see something that's never been done before. With this no fans notion, it's going to take away a whole nother You can't hit those all of them, make the crowd shake. Guys can really hit free throws in a silent gym. I just have to believe that. So I don't think that it's just going to be hard. But based off of team structure, I think Milwaukee has to take it.
Okay. Maui, who's your Eastern Conference final?
I think it's like I said. I think it's gonna be the Raptors, man. I really do. I'm just not a soul. And let me tell you, I want the Bucks to get there because of Frank Mason. You know what I mean? But I think it's gonna be the Raptors. I just think that I think they got another level inside them. You know what I mean? And like I said, I saw them one time, and I saw them play the Lakers, and it was the first time when I watched every Laker game. I started noticing since the first game that they had a stronger endurance than most of the team. Well, they would make a run, and it would be close games, and they would always just have an extra than the other teams had. And when they kept doing it, then they played the Raptors, and they tried to turn it on. I kept telling my dad, they trying to turn it on. And every time they would turn it on, the Raptors would come right back. And I was like, oh, this shit is scary. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give it to the Raptors. I think marketing-wise, though, you don't think the league would love to have another Lakers versus Celtics? You know what I mean? But I'm giving it to the Raptors.
Part of me, I do want to do honor mention for the Celtics. I think just the whole thing of just the emergence of Jason Tatum. I like that dynamic with Kemba and Jaylen Brown. The biggest question mark is going to be Gordon Hayward because he's supposed to be living a bubble because his wife is they're having their child, and that's another thing where another kind of factor where we kind of factor these things in where some guys might have to leave the bubble for essentially for those type of reasons. So, and they say he's supposed to leave in September, which that's going to be one of those things where it's going to be a little tricky because, of course, he goes there. Then he's going to be in quarantine for several days once he gets to the bubble. Who knows how long that's going to particularly take? Because if all systems clear and he's good, it won't take him that long. But say, for instance, en route he gets sick and goes to the bubble and he's positive, then now he's got to sit out for a considerable amount of time. That's one of the things, and that's weird how this season is. You have to think about those type of variables. But I think if everything goes good, and that's another thing too, where I do like the Celtics team. I really do. But I can't ignore Milwaukee. I think now you don't have to worry about a guy like Kawhi, and I think Chris Middleton has really emerged as the number 2 guy on this team. And then I don't think you're really going to have to worry about Eric Bledsoe struggling like he did last year, because he really was he went cold last year. And I don't expect him to have type of postseason. I really don't. So, coupled with that, I got Milwaukee.
The Celtics, I think that since they got Hayward, I think they've already kind of put him as being a liability, some type of liability to them where, he was out, blah, blah, and I think they've played past that. So it's not like they haven't had success without him. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think they have people or have setups. Got a good coach, man. They have setups that say, okay, he's out. We know what to do. And they can bring somebody in too, since they already know he's going to be leaving, right?
Yeah, they can bring somebody in, but that's what I'm saying. That's another thing, another kind of factor you bring in, even though, like you're saying, he's a liability, but he's still a part of this team that they would need him to play at somewhat of a decent level. Because you got to think about you playing like a team like Milwaukee. Because we're thinking if it does happen, Milwaukee, that's in September. You need all hands on deck against Milwaukee. And if one of your guys is gone, I understand the next man up mentality.
No, I'm with you.
But all hands on deck. And it's not to fault him, because I think we all would leave. I know I would leave. I know, we all leave. But that's just the nature of the business. That's just
I just think that the Celtics is kind of like one of those teams where, and that's what makes them dangerous, where, okay, this guy's down, we're not going to stop. Where some teams, you be like, oh, we done lost such and such. Man, we don't know what we going to do. who gonna be the, like for instance, years ago, Draymond Green go down, and who gonna fill that? Who gonna be able to fill that position? They couldn't find nobody. But I think somebody like a Brad Stevens being the coach, he'll figure it out. You know what I mean? So I think when I heard Hayward was leaving, I was like, it's Gordon Hayward, man. I'm like, it ain't like he never left before. And it's no disrespect to him.
No
but
doubt.
I still was like, I'm like, man, and it's Boston too, so we know one of the reasons why they got him. We ain't gonna say no name.
Too, and then Brad Stevens angle,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? We not gonna say no names why they got it. But I was like, okay, but they go already. That's what make them dangerous. Where you think, oh, they done. You know what I mean? But somebody gonna step up. Somebody will step up. But I was just thinking from a marketing standpoint. I said, wow, what if it ended up being the Celtics versus the Lakers? I said, that's ratings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's that's NBA. But I do think it's gonna be the Raptors.
It would if you had those. You would have that market display. But like I said, this is gonna be totally different.
Right.
Yeah, this is
like those crowds. Like you're not feeding off the energy because.
Right.
Oh yeah, please don't, because you think about those chants like beat LA, you're not gonna have that.
Yeah.
And that's great. No offense, no pun intended, LA, but literally. Because I remember and it's just like, and that's another thing when you think about that factor, you're like, man, wouldn't it be something they have that would be a wasted series. Literally, when you think about it. Because I remember when the game that they beat us upside the head with, 2008 games was game 6, and the Lakers getting pummeled. Like the whole fourth quarter was like beat LA, and I was like, whoa, this is like 1985 all over again. Yeah, like this is amazing.
I mean, like you take last year's finals in consideration. Mm-hmm. There's no Drake sitting on the sideline getting in people's head, because you can look at a point that Draymond, I think he might take a swing at Drake.
Yeah.
And you don't have anymore where just that little fickle was, somebody's going to miss a cut free throw because of the crowd noise. It's going to be, right. They're going to say what the families and other teams can watch after like the second round of the playoffs. Like, that's not really do too much.
Right. That's not going to do much.
And then are they going to try to funnel in crowd noise?
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
So you mean to tell me when Jason Tatum at the free throw in the finals, Gloria James going to come up in there and spook him? and Savannah and the boys. Right. I'm right. Who's going to be right? It's going to be funny. Like, this is wild. But yeah, appreciate you, Yo-Yo. What's going on, Yo-Yo? She said,
what's up, Yo-Yo?
And shout out to Don. Appreciate y'all.
The Don.
But yeah. New panic on my wrist. But anyway. It's so weird. It Donovan's a hilarious show. That was some funny shit though. But yeah, man. Yeah. But that's another thing.
The Raptors, man. Go ahead.
Man. Yeah, and that's another thing too, where you're like, I hope I part of me don't, because like unless they pipe that in, then that'd be cool. But that would be so wasted. God, that'd be wasted. Like to have an epic matchup like that in the NBA Finals with no fans. Yikes.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, you got this. That's why now we really have to value the stuff that we took
for granted
advantage of. Like when I was young, man, I lived in Germany, right? And when I saw a McDonald's, you couldn't tell us nothing. It was like going to Ruth Chris. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, man, we going to McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Like it meant something to, we like where I lived at, there was a McDonald's and a Burger King like 40 miles away. And then we would want to go to Wendy's or Kentucky Fried Chicken or Pizza Hut. We had to drive to Frankfurt, and that was probably like 50, 60 miles away. You know what I mean? Or whatever. It was far. Let's just say it was far. But it was a big thing, and like you value those things when that's something we could do every day here. All day we can go and do that. You know what I mean? And even though we gonna be happy we got sports, I hope we don't be disappointed because the fans ain't there. And I don't think these guys. I think we got a lot of smart basketball players in the NBA now, and we have a lot of athletes. I think they're going. I think a lot of them too might not have wanted to go play, and they understood the importance of playing. You know what I mean? Because of what's going on now, everybody. We need something to be able, because they bored themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got to do something. We got to do something. So I think they're gonna try to make it exciting. But yeah, no fans. That's crazy. Right?
I know. That sucks.
And that the snitching hotline comes into play.
Yes. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Snitching hotline.
I love it. It's so hilarious. Oh my God,
that's crazy.
Because I'm like, if one team, you got that. All right, we need to get this guy out the way. You trying to win? Right. What you gonna do? I see him trying to go get some Uber Eats.
And you know who your boy? I'm telling you, your boy Dwight Howard need to put on that damn mask because he about to get kicked the hell out. Like I think it's about 2 or 3 times he done been walking around like, dude, this dude about to get kicked out. Straight up.
But it is funny, like now, before they arrived at the bubble, they had it was less than 2% of the players tested positive. Now, ESPN reported 346 players, nobody's tested positive. So I was like, once we start this thing rolling, all of the tests are just everybody's negative. You're not going to see anything else about it. But have they confirmed what they're going to do for next season?
Or what they're going to do in this month? Like, who you going to bring? Am I going to bring it? Like, look, I'm bringing a family member, but it's going to be an IG model.
Right. He's stupid.
I mean,
what's up? I see the Beijing King. Lamar, the Beijing King. The Beijing King. Air spray.
All right.
But they got the hotline in your neighborhood. They got the hotline snitching line too. Don't let nobody find out you got COVID.
All right, man. That's still out here, man. And your boy Dwight is serial. Like,
look, you be on Facebook. Somebody done post on there. Hey, I heard you positive for the COVID. You're like, well, damn, you could have at least text me. You had to put it on my Facebook page.
Right, man. But yeah, man, the line is funny because everybody that mess is golden. Like the fact that they have that type of line, it's hilarious to me. But,
that's why to me it has that college or camp type of feel. Like who the hell really going?
Popovich will probably just be calling it.
Oh yeah, and then your boy Chris Paul gonna be waiting. He probably got a whole damn telescope seeing everybody.
You think he the one gonna be telling on people?
Hell yeah,
you wrong for that, bro.
He the vice president of Players Association. He probably created the line. He created it. He created the line. He created the phone number.
You think he that much of a tightwad that he'll do something like that?
Well, I mean, I understand it because you really, this is a different.
If you're trying to win,
you at all costs. And that Thunder, that OKC Thunder, you gotta.
Can you imagine Belichick having something like that, man? Please.
Oh God, you're right. I see Sam Donald with a girl. He had mono last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he would tell. I think other teams from that division be telling.
Yeah. And Lord knows those Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah. Fly, Eagles, fly my ass. Like snitching, what is it? Snitching forever. Snitch, fly, snitch.
Man, since we talk about this, how are you feeling about Dan Snyder and all the stuff going on with him?
Yeah, man, it's getting crazy. It's getting out of hand. I've really just, I don't know, man. It's getting on my nerves. Like I said 2 weeks ago, I just wanted to be over. There's too much going on right before training camp. This is not the time.
They're just trying to get rid of him? You think they're just trying to get rid of him?
But a part of me is like, this situation, it could be the beginning stages, but I don't think they're gonna get rid of him because you don't own to stay together. You're really gonna have to do something like illegal, like because the thing, but the thing, that situation that the speculation of what was gonna happen, the Washington Post on Thursday, because to be 100% real, I mean, there was so many rumors going on, like almost like it was gonna be like an Epstein type of situation, like the Hammer, like it was gonna be some crazy stuff being exposed, and that's like initially I was like, okay, well, if it's some Epstein type of stuff, oh yeah, he's out of there. But lo and behold, even though, like I said, sexual abuse is 100% wrong, but we just have to really realize in this scope, them owners, they stick together. Like the Jerry Rich situation, the only reason why that happened because essentially it was directly involved with him. According to the 15 woman, he didn't have nothing, he really had nothing to do with it. But obviously, in most cases, if you're not the owner, like if you were, a certain upper level, you're gone. But that's another thing where, like, I think it's another thing where it teaches.
It's not
right.
If this was like a Donald Sterling situation where it was proof,
right,
he's been gone.
Right. So
and Dale doesn't have the testicular fortitude to pull that string to make them say he got to get out of there.
Right, and he won't.
Well, didn't the Carolina Panthers, didn't they sell the team for some reason?
Well,
for
yeah,
racial slurs or something like that.
Well, that was kind of proof because that was a sexual assault thing where they essentially had receipts on him. So that's why he got out. This one is essentially it was just organizational things.
Hearsay.
It's like you said, almost more so hearsay, and it's nothing that implicates him. That's the thing. Nothing implicates him directly.
Yeah. Okay.
Indirectly, yeah, because of course he owns the team. But that's what I'm saying. That's another thing where initially we were like, okay, we thought a lot of stuff was going to be like incriminating towards Snyder, but it's more so incriminating to the actual culture that he owns. But even though, like you said, and that's another thing I think when we look at from our culture, when you own something, essentially you're bulletproof. Unless you're literally linked to the crime. But those guys, they don't stick with him because I think you got to have like 24 owners to kick you out. And I guarantee you, there are not 24 guys because essentially, and I hate to say this, but I really have to look at it from a $1 billion industry. He's still raking in money. He's still good for business for them. Not saying I'm not excusing what has happened with his organization, but they look at him and he's just he's bringing in the money. Like he's one of the top top franchises. He's not a liability, So we're gonna keep him aboard. He bringing us money, unless something happens where he's literally implicated on something. He's not going nowhere. It would be on his own. It would be on his own volition if he wants to leave. But I mean, it's just fair. I mean, it's not fair, but it's just it ain't fair. But hell, that's just life. Especially in the NFL.
When you got that kind of money, you pay people to fall on the sword for you.
Correct.
Yeah, but I don't know. So much crazy stuff going on, man. This is the second time. If they come up again, I think they're gonna try to force him out.
Yeah, they're gonna have a smoking gun. That's the thing too, where they have to really find something.
Yeah.
Really to put him at the scene of the crime.
Right. That's gonna. I mean, and that's the thing. What if they do and they say, "Hey, man, you really need to do this," or it's gonna be put out. I mean, if you go ahead and sell. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's ways around it, and I think it's a lot of heat on him, man. It's a lot of heat on him, and I think that to help everything out, y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right, my Bluetooth getting low. Okay, but I don't know. I hope not, but I know you were saying you kind of want him to go. You know what I mean? And because the Washington team, they're gonna figure out a way anyway. They're gonna make money anyway.
Yeah, regardless, right? So that's another thing where, in essence, he's essentially being punished, but he's still gonna make money off it, even if he sells the team, when he changes the name, like whatever happens, when he changed the name, like we talked about a few weeks ago, he's going to earn revenue. He's going to get a new stadium. He's going to be able to host the Super Bowl. So it's going to be a win-win situation regardless.
Might be an opportunity for African-American owner, you know,
we'll
be able to get the team.
Potentially. We'll see. So, fellas, let's put a bow on this week's Couch Coach Live, man.
Right.
Game ball. Let's go around the horn. Who gets his game ball for you, LA?
I don't know.
All right.
I think the people get this because we get some live sports coming up.
I know, right? Maui, your game ball.
I'm gonna give it to you guys. You know what I'm saying? I know the gentleman's name that you had on Sunday. Happy anniversary to you.
Right,
I feel like you gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody, Couch Coach Live alumni. Game ball go to you guys, man, because you know this is my home. Y'all all a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. It was fun. It was fun to kind of go back in the beginning stages and talk about when we didn't know what the hell we were doing. So my game ball, it's got to go to the NBA. 0 positive COVID-19 tests since July 13th. Maybe they're doing something that us as a country need to be doing, and they've kind of found a way to kind of flatten their own curve. But I digress. But yeah, all right, fellas, final thoughts. LA, final thoughts.
Oh man, it's just you never appreciate sports till you don't have them.
Right.
And these last 4 months, very, very, very trying. Now, you know, I got tired of watching the old highlights. I was like, hold up, hey, this is what we've come to. And it was like no more YouTube highlights. It's like this is like live streaming on ESPN that I'm watching the 1990 finals. I had to suffer through watching The Last Dance. But that's here.
Tell me about it. The first time was great. Now I had to go Netflix. I'm like, oh man, again, really?
Yeah. So man, great show, fellas. My final thoughts. Great show, fellas, and got some stuff cooked up. Actually, Friday I'm gonna do a Washington Redskins funeral at 9:00 Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central. Central, but Pacific time. On Friday, I'll be joined with my guy Rob from the Football and Chill podcast. We're both beloved Washington Redskin fans, so we're gonna do it right, and we're gonna have a nice little funeral for our beloved Washington Redskins, and have that going. And you think it's funny, LA, but it's much needed. But we're definitely,
you know, you get emotional.
Yeah, I mean it's all good, but you'll be watching it, so it doesn't even really matter. But anyway,
like, y'all should be happy about this. You can finally move in a direction where you're not like the butt of jokes. I wouldn't have a winning season. You know, when the draft comes around, you don't have to draft when it's still sun outside. You know, things like that you're supposed to take appreciative to.
Well, I mean, this is only one time. It's going to be dark when we draft next time.
Would you trade up the first round or something?
Well, no, actually, Larry, you know what's so funny? It was literally low key dark when that happened, because remember it took forever. It looks like 45 minutes for the first round to start. And I was just like, "Are you kidding me? Like this sometimes a sick joke." But yeah, and it looks like I got a storm coming up, so I will we'll wrap this up. So we'll do the Redskins funeral on Friday, and yeah, man. So this has been Couch Coach Live, and we'll catch you guys next week.
All right. Well,